Hello, how are you? I'm a little tired. Sit down, please. I'd like to speak English today too, to improve my speaking skill. Let's get it started. Today it is July 5th, 2022. Please do not add to concerns anymore. I don't want concerns. No one wants concerns which make them concerned, which make them worried. There are some concerns which are bothering me. There are some concerns bothering me. There are some concerns preventing me from going abroad. There are some concerns preventing me from traveling. There are some concerns preventing me from going abroad. There are some concerns preventing me from having a trip, even domestically. Some of my concerns were removed thanks to the help from my friends. Classic music might not be a concern for you, for some people. Classic music might not be a concern for some people. Election might not be a concern for some people. Election might not be a concern for some people. Election might not be a concern for some people. Election might not be a concern for some people. Election might not be a concern for some people. Do not add the concerns anymore. I don't want concerns bothering me anymore, any longer. I no longer want additional concerns. I don't want additional concerns bothering me any longer, anymore. Watching a movie might not be a concern for some people. Watching a movie might not be a concern for some people. Playing video games might not be a concern for some people. Playing video games might not be a concern for some people. Cheaper Japanese yen is one of the concerns of mine. Cheaper Japanese yen is one of the concerns for me. Don't concern me with such sad news. The accident concerned me. The TV broadcasting concerned me. The horrible accident concerned me. The horrible accident in the country where I was going to go concerned me. The horrible accident 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 concerned me. There are some elements concerning me. There are some factors concerning me. There are some factors concerning me. There are some factors concerning me. The earthquake concerned me a lot. The earthquake in the area concerned me a lot because my parents live there. The earthquake in the area concerned me a lot because my parents live there. The accident concerned me. The horrible news from the TV concerned me. The cheaper Japanese yen is concerning me. A lack of practice will concern you, but you can improve that by practicing a lot, preparing a lot. A lack of practice or preparation will concern you. Only way to reduce the concern is to prepare enough. One method to reduce the concern, the amount of concern, is to prepare enough. One method to reduce the amount of concern is to prepare enough. The news concerned me. The horrible news concerned me. The volcanic eruption of the mountain concerned me. The approaching typhoon concerned me. The approaching typhoon is concerning me. My daughter living in USA is concerning me every day. My daughter living in the United States of America is concerning me every day. The higher tax concerned me. The creation of the newly created typhoon concerned me. 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 The newly developed typhoon concerned me. The newly created typhoon concerned me. There are many factors concerning me. There are some factors concerning me. There are some factors concerning me. I'd like to remove the factors concerning me gradually, little by little. I'd like to remove the factors concerning me. The CEO of the company concerned the crime. The CEO of the company concerned the fraud scheme. The CEO of the company also concerned the illegal gambling. The celebrity also concerned the cryptocurrency fraud. The celebrity also concerned the cryptocurrency fraud. The city mayor concerned the illegal gambling. The city mayor resigned because he had concerned the illegal gambling. The city mayor resigned because he had engaged in the illegal gambling. The city mayor resigned for joining the illegal gambling. The city mayor resigned and was arrested for having concerned the illegal fraud scheme. The CEO of the company must engage in the fraud scheme from the evidence. The CEO of the company must concern the project. I don't concern the project. I don't concern the project. Her job always concerned bike. Her job always concerned bikes. Her job always concerned bikes. Please do not add to the amount of concerns which I have. I want no longer additional concerns. The news concerned me. The news of the accident concerned me. The email was sent to whom it may concern. It may concern. The email will be sent to whom it may concern. The emails will be sent to whom it may concern. They may concern. The email will be sent to whom it may concern. The email will be sent to whom it may concern. The email was sent to it may have been. The emails have the emails were sent to whom they might have been concerned. The email was sent to whom it may have concerned. The fraud scheme concerned even the CEO of the company. The fraud scheme concerned even the public servant. The fraud scheme concerned even the public servant who had been faced in a lot by the locals. The skin problems might concern what I eat. The skin problems may concern what I eat daily, every day. The disease might concern what I eat every day. The skin problem might concern what I eat every day. The disease might concern what I eat every day. The skin problem which I have might concern what I eat every day. The skin problem might concern what I eat every day. The skin problem might concern what I eat every day. The skin problem might concern what I eat every day. The skin problem might concern what I eat every day. The email will be sent to whom it may concern. The email will be sent to whom it may concern. Only those concerned can enter the staff-only room. Those concerned will be sent emails. Those concerned will get the email soon. Those concerned will get email soon. The accident concerned me. The accident concerned me. The accident concerned me. Skin problem might concern what I eat every day. The skin problems might concern what I eat every day. What are you concerned for? What are you concerned for? I'm concerned about my future. I'm concerned about my future. I'm concerned for my future. I'm concerned for my future. I'm concerned about my future. Many people are concerned about their future. Many people are concerned for their future. I'm not concerned with the project. I'm not concerned with the project. I'm not concerned with the project. I have nothing to do with the project. I have little to do with the project. I have something to do with the project. Many people are concerned for their future. Many people are concerned about their future. I'm concerned for the cheaper Japanese yen. I'm concerned about cheaper Japanese yen as of July 5th, 2022. I'm concerned about my future. I'm concerned for my future. I'm concerned about my future. I'm concerned about my future. I'm concerned for my future. The celebrity was concerned with the illegal gambling. The celebrity was concerned with illegal gambling. The employee of the company was concerned with illegal transaction of the stock market. The man was engaged in the fraud scheme. The man engaged in fraud scheme. The man is concerned with fraud scheme. The man engaged in fraud scheme. The man was concerned with fraud scheme. My skin problems might be concerned with what I eat every day. My skin problems might be concerned with what I eat every day. My skin problems might be concerned with what I eat every day. My skin problems might be concerned with what I eat every day. My skin problems might be concerned with what I eat every day. Some goods are recycled for environmental protection. Some goods, such as pet bottles, cans, and bins, are recycled for environmental protection. Environmental protection. Some goods, such as pet bottles, cans, are recycled for environmental protection. Environmental preservation. Environmental conservation. I hope the electric cars will reduce the amount of environmental pollutant. I hope the EV car, electric powered vehicle, will reduce the amount of environmental pollutants. The environment in the world has been changing due to the global warming. I've heard about the news of drought in some areas and heavy floods. So drought and heavy floods are happening together in other places of the world. What can we do for the better environment? Shopping bag became for a fee to prevent environmental pollution. I heard the comments from the environmentalist. I heard the comments from the environmentalist on TV. I heard the comments from the environmentalist. I heard the comments from the environmentalist. I heard the comments from the environmentalist. Environmentalist. I heard the comments from the environmentalist on TV. Environmentalist. Environmentalist. Do you want to become an environmentalist? Do you want to become an environmentalist? Environmentalist. Do you often buy environmentally friendly goods? There are more and more environmentally friendly goods out there to protect the environment. There are more and more environmentally friendly goods out there. There are more and more environmentally friendly goods. There are more and more environmentally friendly goods. There are more and more environmentally friendly goods. Is recycling a good way environmentally? 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 Is recycling a good way? Is recycling a good way environmentally? Environmentally. 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 environmentally, 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 environmentally. Is recycling a good way environmentally? Is the transformation from gas-powered cars into electric-powered cars a good way environmentally? Is the transformation from gas-powered cars into electric-powered cars a good way environmentally? Environmentally. 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 What does a refinery produce? What does a refinery produce? Are there oil refineries in your prefecture? How many oil refineries are there in your state? How many oil refineries are there in your state? How many oil refineries are there in your state? The refinery produces high-quality soy sauce. The soy sauce refinery is located in the prefecture. The refinery produces high-quality soy sauce. There are oil refineries, soy sauce refineries, sugar refineries, and so on. There is an iron refinery. Iron refinery. There was an iron refinery. There was an iron refinery there. 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 Iron refinery. There was an iron refinery. There used to be iron refinery, but not now. There used to be iron refinery. There used to be iron refinery. There used to be an iron refinery. What does the refinery produce? 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 The refinery refines crude oil, raw oil. The refinery refines raw materials, such as oil. Refinery. The refinery produces high-quality iron in the process. The iron refinery produces high-quality iron in the process. The refinery produces high-quality iron in the process. The iron refinery. The iron refinery produces high-quality iron in the process. How many oil refineries are there in your state? How many oil refineries are there in your state? How many oil refineries are there in your country, in your state? How many refineries are there in your city? 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 Refinery. Refinery. The iron refinery refines raw iron, making it into high quality iron. The iron refinery produces high quality iron in the process. The refinery refines high quality oil. The refinery refines crude oil into the gas, petroleum for cars. The refinery refines crude oil into high quality one. The refinery refines crude oil into petroleum for cars. I need to brush up my English skill. I need to refine 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 my English skill. English skill. English skill. I need to refine my 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 English skill. I want to refine my English skill more. I want to refine my English skill more. The refinery refines crude oil. 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 The refinery refines crude iron. The refinery refines sugar, crude sugar. The refinery refines crude salt. The refinery refines crude raw iron. The refinery refines raw iron. The refinery refines crude iron. The refinery refines disposed iron into high quality one. The refinery refines disposed iron. The refinery refines disposed thrown iron into high quality one. The refinery refines crude oil. 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 The refinery refines disposed iron. The refinery refines garbage iron. The refinery refines garbage iron. The refinery refines garbage iron. The refinery refines iron into high quality one. The refinery refines iron. I'd like to refine my English. I'd like to refine my English skill. I'd like to refine my English. The refinery refines crude oil. The refinery refines crude oil. The refinery refines crude oil. What is the difference between refinery and refiner? The factory you can see over there is the most famous refiner, oil refiner in this city. The board of the refiner you can see over there is like a kind of symbol of the city. So if you lose your way, please walk around by looking at the board. And you won't miss, and you won't be lost. You won't get your way. You won't lose your way. Refiner. Oil refiner. The factory, the building you can see over there is an oil refiner. Oil refiner. The factory you can see over there is an oil refiner. The building you can see over there is an iron refiner. An iron refiner. The factory you can see over there is an oil refiner. Oil refiner. The factory you can see over there is an oil refiner. refiner, 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 refiner. The building you can see over there is the oil refiner, an oil refiner, crude oil refiner. The building you can see over there is an iron refiner, iron refiner. The building you can see over there is an iron refiner. Refiner, oil refiner, oil refiner, refiner, refiner. There are several routes you can reach the top of Mount Fuji. There are several climbing routes. There are several methods you can use with. There are several methods you can use. I met several. I tried several. Several. I tried several of them. I tried several. I ate several. I ate several. I ate several. I ate several. There are several routes. Several. There are several methods you can use to achieve your goal. There are several climbing routes you can take in order to get to the summit of Mount Fuji. I met several. I met several of them. Several of them are not interested in music. Several of them are not interested in classic music. The incident was broadcasted on news. The incident must not be forgotten. The incident should be remembered from generation to generation. The incident should be passed down from generation to generation. The incident which happened today should be handed down, passed down from generation to generation. The examination was conducted during the pandemic without incident. The examination was conducted successfully without incident. The incidence of shooting has been increasing recently. The incidence of typhoon has been increasing recently. The incidence of me meeting my classmates has been increasing recently. The incidence of the miracles are increasing recently. There is no knowing the incidence of natural disaster. There is no knowing the incidence of the natural disaster. Can I know the incidence of the natural disaster? Can I know, is there a chart of showing the incidence of natural disaster? Is there a chart or statistics of the incidence of natural disaster? Is there a statistics or charts showing the incidence of natural disaster? Is there a chart or statistics showing the incidence of natural disaster? Is there a chart or statistics showing the incidence of natural disaster? I think maybe I think such data is available in the website. I'm not sure, but you can check it. Incidence. Thanks to the police station newly established in the area, the incidence of crime is decreasing. The incidence of the crimes has been decreasing since the station of the police station there. The incidence of the crimes has been decreasing in the area since the deployment of increased number of police officers. Thanks to the increased number of patrols by the police officers in the area, the incidence of the crimes has been decreasing. Due to the decreased number of incidents of rain, the area is struggling with drought. Is there chart? Is there the chart or a statistic showing the incidence of natural disaster? Is there a chart or a statistics showing the incidence of natural disaster? The paper is wet due to the water. I drank a pet bottle of tea and The pet bottle was wet, so the paper also got wet too. We should avoid incidental accident by preparing enough. We can avoid or prevent the incidental accident by preparing enough. We should prevent the incidental accident by preparing enough. For example, we can avoid the things thrown away, being blown away by the strong wind by taking them into house before the typhoon approaches. So by preparing enough, we can avoid such incidental accident. We can avoid incidental accidents by preparing enough. We should prepare enough to avoid incidental accidents. The tsunami was an incidental accident after the earthquake. The second party is the incidental thing or event after a big event in Japan. The second party is the incidental event held after main event. Second party, usually held in izakaya or Japanese-style tavern, is incidental event after main event. The second party is incidental event held after the main event among friends. Tsunami is the worst incidental natural disaster, which usually happens after earthquake. Tsunami is the worst incidental natural disaster after the earthquake. The second party is the incidental event held after the main event. The car accident was the incidental accident after the earthquake. The shutdown of the expressway is the incidental procedure after the earthquake. There are many incidental events out there. We can avoid or prevent incidental problems by preparing enough. We can avoid or prevent the incidental accident problems by preparing enough. We can avoid or prevent incidental problems such as things blown off by the wind. There are many incidental events. Tsunami is the worst incidental natural disaster, which sometimes happen after earthquake. Tsunami is the worst incidental problem, which sometimes arise after the earthquake. Buying up toilet paper was incidental problem after buying up masks. Buying up toilet paper was incidental problem after buying up masks. Tsunami is the worst incidental event, which sometimes happen after earthquake. The second party is the incidental event held after the main event. Second party is the incidental event held after main event. I came across an old friend of mine, by accident. I hit the lottery, although it was only 10,000 yen, by accident, incidentally. I incidentally stopped by the cafe and ran into an old friend of mine. She was owning the cafe. I incidentally stopped by the convenience store. I never usually do. I incidentally stopped by the convenience store. I dropped by the supermarket incidentally. I dropped by the supermarket incidentally. I dropped the supermarket incidentally. I dropped in at the supermarket. Incidentally. I don't have enough money to buy the book incidentally in my wallet, so I used the credit card. I don't have enough money to buy the book incidentally, so I used my credit card. I found the jewelry I have been looking for incidentally. It was under the bed. I found the jewelry I had been looking for incidentally. I found the jewelry I had been looking for incidentally. I had a chance to see the celebrity incidentally. I got a glimpse of the celebrity incidentally. I caught a glimpse of the celebrity incidentally. I had a glimpse of the celebrity incidentally. I caught sight of the celebrity incidentally. I caught sight of the celebrity incidentally. I caught sight of the celebrity incidentally. Incidentally, 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 incidentally. If I could restart my life again, I would try to enter the Ministry of the Foreign Affairs of Japan. One of my friends is working for the Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communications. If I could restart my life again, I would try to become a diplomat and enter the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Japan and contribute to the relationship with other countries. Good. But there is an age limitation to enter the ministry. According to the information, the celebrity had an affair with someone else. According to the information, the celebrity had an affair with someone else. I usually get the information of the world affairs from the international broadcasting company. The affair should be remembered. The affair should be remembered. The affair should be passed down from generation to generation. The affair should be handed down from generation to generation. The affair is still in mystery. The affair still buried in mystery. The affair still buried in mystery. The affair has been buried in mystery. The affair has been made public. The affair finally was made public. The affair was finally made public. The affair was finally made public. The affair was broadcasted on TV. The affair was not broadcasted. The affair was hidden by the media. The affair was not brought up in the news. The affair was not brought up in the news. The affair was not brought up in the news. Are you interested in foreign affairs? Are you interested in internal and foreign affairs? Are you interested in foreign affairs? Are you interested in foreign affairs? He is in charge of foreign affairs. I am in charge of internal affairs. The ministry is in charge of internal affairs and communications. The ministry is in charge of internal affairs and communications. The foreign ministry is in charge of foreign affairs. The department is in charge of foreign affairs. The department is in charge of internal affairs. Are you familiar with world affairs? 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 Are you versed with foreign affairs, internal affairs, world affairs? Are you versed with world affairs? Are you familiar with world affairs? World affairs are changing and changing. World affairs are not stable, always changing. World affairs are full of problems. World affairs are full of problems. World affairs. 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 Under no circumstances should you say such a thing to me. You should under no circumstances should you say such a thing to him. You should under no circumstances say such a thing to me. You should under no circumstances commit a crime. Under no circumstances should you commit a crime, okay? Under the circumstance, under the severe, serious and circumstances, I could achieve my goal. Under the severe, serious circumstances, I could get over difficulties. I could pass the examination. I could pass the examination. I don't wanna go traveling under such circumstance. With this circumstance, many people are afraid of going abroad. In this circumstance, many people are afraid of going abroad. At the same time, the others are not afraid. Now is a circumstance where we have to be patient. We have to be patient. Now is a circumstance where we have to be patient. I hope the hard, severe circumstance to pass through. I want the severe circumstance to be over as soon as possible, as immediately as possible. I want the severe circumstance to be over as immediately as possible, as soon as possible. There are some circumstantial evidences that he was concerned with the project. There are some circumstantial evidences showing the employee was concerned with the fraud scheme. There are some circumstantial evidences, such as pictures showing he was concerned with the fraud scheme. There are some circumstantial evidences, such as voice messages, pictures, showing that the salesman was concerned with the fraud. There are some circumstantial evidences, such as pictures, videos, showing that the man engaged in the fraud. There are some circumstantial evidences, such as pictures from the security camera, that the man was stealing the object from the house. There are circumstantial evidences, such as video recordings from the security camera, that the man was stealing the objects in the room. Circumstantial, 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 circumstantial. There are some circumstantial evidences, such as video recording from the security camera, that showing that the man was stealing the objects in the room. There are some circumstantial evidences, such as video recordings from security camera showing that the man was stealing something or objects in the room. The floodwater is contaminating the land. The landslide contaminated the road, polluted the road. Throwing up pet bottles will contaminate the earth. So do not throw away pet bottles or anything. Littering will contaminate the street. Littering is subject to the maximum fine of $500. Littering in this facility is subject to maximum fine of $500. Littering in this facility, littering in this facility is subject to maximum fine of $500. So please bear that in mind. Keep that in mind. The gas emitted from the cars are contaminating the earth. The gas given off from the cars are contaminating the earth. How can we prevent contamination? Environmental contamination. How can we avoid environmental contamination? How can we reduce the amount, the volume of contamination? I hope the transformation from gas-powered cars into electric-powered cars will reduce the amount of contamination. The toxic waste are disposed of in the factory. The toxic waste are disposed of in the factory. The animal has such a strong toxicity, so please keep away from the animal. Some animals have such a strong toxicity. Some animals have strong toxicity. I developed toxication after eating the food because it was beyond use by date. The drunk man slammed into the wall. The toxicated man slammed into the wall. The rash is one of the toxic reactions of the poison. The rash on your skin is one of the toxic reactions of the poison. I don't want to hear toxic news. I don't want to hear toxic news. Is the object toxic? How can I tell toxic object from others? How can I tell toxic waste from others? Is the fume coming out of the chimney toxic? Is the fume coming out of the chimney toxic? The rash on your skin is one of the toxic reaction of the poison. Dizziness is one of the toxic reaction of the poison. Dizziness is one of the toxic reaction of the poison. Toxic reaction. There are many kinds of toxic reactions. There are many toxic reactions. Toxic reaction. 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 The rash on the skin is one of the toxic reactions. Is the smoke coming out of the chimney toxic? Some animals have strong toxicity. 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 Some animals have strong toxicity. Strong toxicity. Some animals have strong toxicity. 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 Some animals have strong toxicity. Some animals have strong toxicity. Some animals have strong toxicity. Some animals have such strong poisons with strong toxicity. Some animals have 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 poisons with strong toxicity. Toxicity. Some animals have poisons with strong toxicity. Some animals have poisons with strong toxicity. Some animals have poisons with strong toxicity. Toxicity. Does the animal have poison with strong toxicity? Does the animal have poison with strong toxicity? Does the animal have poison with strong toxicity? Toxicity. 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 Does the animal have poison with strong toxicity? Does the animal have poison with strong toxicity? Toxicity. 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 Does the animal have poison with strong toxicity? Toxicity is usually divided into many categories. Toxicity is usually divided into some categories. Does the animal have poison with strong toxicity? Toxicity. 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 I got intoxication or food poisoning from the food because the food I ate was beyond the use by date, so it was my failure. It was my fault. The symptom of the intoxication is stomachache. The symptom of the intoxication is stomachache. The symptom of the intoxication is stomachache. One of the symptoms of the intoxication is stomachache. One of the symptoms of the intoxication is stomachache. The common symptom of the intoxication is headache. The common symptom of the intoxication is stomachache. The symptom of food intoxication is stomachache. Intoxication, 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 intoxication. 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 One of the symptoms of the intoxication is stomachache. One of the symptoms of the intoxication is headache. I don't want to get the intoxication. I don't want to get the intoxication. So I'm cautious. I'm careful. I don't want to get any intoxications. I don't want to get any intoxications. So I try to be cautious. I try to be careful. Intoxication. I don't want to get any intoxications. I don't want to get any intoxications. Intoxication. I don't want to get any intoxications. 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 The intoxicated man bumped into the wall. The intoxicated man slammed 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 into the wall. The intoxicated man threw up many times on the street. The intoxicated man threw up many times on the street. The intoxicated man vomited on the street. The intoxicated man vomited in the toilet. The intoxicated man vomited in the toilet. The intoxicated man threw up in the toilet. The intoxicated man bumped into the wall. The intoxicated man slammed into the wall. The intoxicated man slammed into the wall. The site will be turned into a parking lot of the company. The vacant site will be turned into a parking lot of the company. The vacant site will be turned into a parking lot of the company soon. A shopping mall is going to be built on the land on the site. A shopping center will be erected on the site. According to a rumor, a shopping mall will be built in the site, on the site. There used to be a post office on the site, but now a convenience store is located in the same place where the post office used to be. There used to be an old record shop on the site, but now the building was turned into a convenience store. Having an experience on the spot, on the first hand, on the spot is very important. Stacking up first-hand experience on the spot, on the site is very important. Accumulating experience on the site is very important than reading a book. Accumulating first-hand experience on the site is very important. Working on the site and inputting information from the book is different. Accumulating experience on site is very important. Accumulating experience on site is important. Accumulating experience on site is very important. Some people are working on site. Accumulating, stacking up experience on the spot, on site is important. Accumulating experience on site is important, on the spot. Having first-hand experience. Having first-hand experience is very important. Having first-hand experience on the spot, on site is important. Having first-hand experience on the site is important. On site, on the spot. Having the first-hand experience on site is important. On site. on site. Having an experience on site is important. Having the real experience, having real experience on the spot, on site is important. On site. Working on site is very different from reading a book at home. Accumulating experience on site is important. 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 Accumulating experience on the spot is important. On the spot, on site. Stacking up experience on the spot, on site is important. Accumulating experience on site is important. Accumulating experience on site is important. Important thing is to accumulate experience on site. On site. Accumulating first-hand experience is important on the accumulating first-hand experience on the spot, on site is important. Did you have the experience on site? Did you have the experience on site? Have you had 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 the experience on site? The nuclear site exploded after the earthquake. The nuclear power plant exploded after the earthquake. The nuclear power plant exploded after the earthquake. Are there nuclear power plant in your city? Are there nuclear power plant in your city? Are there nuclear power plants in your city? The remote island is sited in the Pacific Ocean. Universal Studios Japan is sited in Osaka. Tokyo Disneyland is sited in Chiba Prefecture, in practice. In fact, virtually. USJ is sited in Osaka. The first military government of Japan was sited in Kamakura, Kanagawa Prefecture. The first military government of Japan was sited in Kamakura, Kanagawa Prefecture in the end of 12th century. The first military government was established, and the place was sited in Kamakura, Kanagawa Prefecture. The first military government of Japan was established and was sited in Kamakura, Kanagawa Prefecture. Is the fume coming out of the chimney hazardous? Hazardous. Taking the shortcut hazardous? As the locals put it, we should avoid taking the route because itchy, which is deemed as hazardous. As the locals put it, we should avoid taking the route which is dangerous, hazardous, harmful. Is the fume coming out of the chimney hazardous? Is the smoke coming out of the chimney hazardous? Is the volcanic gas hazardous? Hazardous. There are many hazards out there. There are many hazards out there. Hazard. There are many hazards out there. For example, approaching the coastline during the typhoon is also hazardous. Approaching the ocean, approaching the beach during the typhoon is a hazard. Approaching coastline during the typhoon is considered hazard, regarded hazard. Hazard. Hazard map. I checked where I should avoid going from the hazard map. I checked where I should not go from the hazard map. I checked the evacuation places from the hazard map. Hazard. I'd like to avoid hazards. Everyone wants to avoid hazards. We can avoid hazards to some extent, to a certain extent, by preparing enough. We should avoid hazards by preparing enough. We should avoid hazards by preparing enough. What is a substance? I'm not familiar with substance. What is included in the substance? 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 I was not willing to accept the offer in practice, in fact, in substance. The company is occupied by the grandson of the CEO in substance, 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 in substance. I was unwilling to take on the offer. I was hesitant to take on the offer in substance. I was hesitant to take on the offer in substance. I was hesitant to take on the offer in substance, in substance, in substance, in substance, in substance. 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 The where is classified as mammal. In substance, the whales are classified into mammals. Whales are classified into mammal. In substance, whales are classified into mammal. In substance, the whale classified into mammals. In substance, whales are classified into mammal. In substance, whales are classified into mammal. In substance, whales are classified into mammal. In substance, the whales are classified into mammals. In substance, whales are classified into mammals. In substance, whales are classified into mammals. In substance, whales are classified into mammals. In substance. In substance. In substance. Some chemical substances might be spewed into the atmosphere. The earthquake caused the volcano to spill the chemical pollutants into the atmosphere. insubstance, 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 words are classified into manner. It is impossible to fly like birds in practice. In fact, in substance, 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 in substance. It is impossible to reach the destination in time in substance. Given the situation, the traffic jam, heavy traffic jam, it is impossible to reach the destination in time in substance, 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 Many tourism industries, many tourism companies went bankrupt. Many companies and shops related to tourism went bankrupt. In substance, there are little foreign tourists in substance now. In substance, we have to make a lot of efforts. We have to make a lot of efforts to achieve something great in practice. In fact, in substance, 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 in substance. There are many exceptions in rules in substance. There are many exceptions in the rules in substance. There are many exceptions. There are many exceptions in the rules in substance. In substance. There are many exceptions in substance. In substance. In substance. In substance. There are many exceptions 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 in substance. In substance. In substance. In substance. There are many exceptions in substance. In substance. There are many exceptions 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 in substance. In substance. In substance. In substance. The man accumulated tremendous, extraordinary, substantial amount of money in his bank account. He worked so hard and stacked up substantial amount of money in his bank account. The man donated substantial amount of money to the city hall. The man donated substantial amount of money to the prefecture where natural disaster hit. She usually orders substantial amount of food. He lost substantial amount of money on gambling. She spent substantial amount of money on gambling. He spent substantial amount of money on gambling. Substantial number of guests gathered to the shrine on New Year holidays. Substantial number of people flocked to the shrine on New Year holidays. She spent substantial amount of money for the clothes. The area was devastated by the natural disaster substantially. She spent the money on gambling substantially. I was injured substantially. I was so weak substantially. The area was hit by the typhoon and destroyed so substantially. She ate much food substantially. She ate much food substantially. She spent money for the clothes substantially. She substantially spent her money on gambling and clothes. She spent much money on the clothes substantially. She loves ramen substantially. She loves Japanese animation substantially. What are the stuff I should bring with me when I go a foreign country? What are the stuff I should prepare before the examination? Could you tell me the stuff I should bring with me to the destination? What are the stuff you recommend me to bring with me? What are the stuff that you recommend that I should go with? Manju are buns stuffed with sweet red bean paste. Manju is a bun stuffed with a sweet red bean paste. Manju is a bun stuffed with sweet red bean paste inside. Her duty is to stuff the bun with anko or sweet red bean paste inside. Her duty is to stuff anko or sweet red bean paste into the bun. Her duty is to stuff the bun with anko or sweet red bean paste. Manju is a bun in the shape of stuffed with sweet red meat paste or anko. What are you stuffing the bag? What are you stuffing the bag with? What are you stuffing the bag? What are you stuffing into the bag? What are you stuffing into the bag? What are you stuffing the bag with? 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 Manju is a bun stuffed with sweet red bean paste. I'm stuffing the suitcase with clothes. I prefer to travel in summer because the amount of clothes and the number of clothes is less. The number of clothes are less. The number of clothes are less. How much is it by the pound? 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 The package weighs 2 pounds. The package weighs 2 pounds. The package weighs 3 pounds. You can bring the package for free weighing up to 20 kilograms. You can deposit your suitcase for free up to 20 kilograms. How much is it by the pound? How much is 20 kilograms by the pound? How much is 20 kilograms by the pound? You can bring your suitcase weighing up to 20 kilograms. You can bring your suitcase for free weighing up to 20 kilograms. The package weighs 2 pounds. 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 I sometimes spill a cup of coffee on the desk, although I'm so careful. I sometimes spill a cup of coffee on my desk and end up cleaning all of my room. I sometimes spill a cup of coffee. I sometimes spill a cup of coffee on my desk. I sometimes spill a cup of coffee on my desk. I sometimes spill a cup of coffee on my desk. I sometimes spill a cup of coffee on my desk. I sometimes spill a cup of coffee on my desk. Sorry, I spilled. Who spilled? Sorry, I spilled. Much spill of the information. Much spills of the information. Many spills of the information. The spill of the information led to his apprehension, arrest. The spill of the information made him lose his reputation. The spill of the wrongdoing information of the celebrity. I sometimes spill a cup of coffee on my desk while I'm working on the computer. I sometimes spill a cup of tea or coffee. Do you also sometimes spill a cup of coffee? Do you sometimes spill a cup of coffee on your desk? Do you also sometimes spill a cup of coffee? Do you also sometimes spill a cup of coffee? Do you also 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 spill a cup of coffee? I sometimes spill a cup of coffee on my desk and end up cleaning all of my room. Sorry, I spilled. Who spilled the coffee? Who spilled? I think the glass of water spilled due to the strong wind. It fell from by the strong wind. I think the glass of water fell off the desk due to the strong wind, because the window is near. Who spilled the water? Who spilled the water? Who spilled the water? Who spilled the water? I think the glass of water fell off the desk by the strong wind, and the water spilled. Who spilled the water? I think the glass of water fell off the desk by the strong wind, because the glass was situated. The glass was put near the window, and the window was open. I sometimes spill a cup of coffee. I sometimes spill a cup of coffee. I sometimes spill a cup of coffee. Sorry, I spilled. It's my fault. I sometimes spill. The water spilled. The glass of water spilled. The glass of water fell off the desk and spilled. The glass of water spilled. The glass of water. The glass of water spilled. The spill of the information led to his arrest. The spill of the information made a celebrity lose his reputation. The spill of the personal information from the company lost confidence from the customers. The spills of the individual information from the company made the customers angry. The spills of the individual information from the company made the customers lose the trust in the company. Due to the heavy rain, the river is overflowing. The river is overflowing. I hope the river will not overflow due to the heavy rain, because such a lot of water will damage to the area. Such a lot of water, the flooding water will do damage to the area. So I hope the river will not overflow. The river is overflowing. When I went to the bathtub, it was overflowing because someone forgot to turn off the faucet. Someone forgot to turn off the faucet. When I went to the bathroom, it was the bathtub, and the bathtub was overflowing because someone forgot to turn off the faucet. The bathtub was overflowing, but the bathtub was overflowing. 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 The water was overflowing the bank of the river. The water of the river was overflowing the bank of the river. The river was overflowing the bank. 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 I hope the river will not overflow the bank. I hope the river will not overflow the bank. I hope the typhoon and heavy rain will not overflow the river. I hope the heavy rain will not overflow the river. The river is now overflowing. Gradually, the river is overflowing. Please do not approach the river because it might overflow. The river might overflow the bank. When it is raining heavily, do not approach the riverside. It might overflow. 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 Overflow. It might 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 overflow. The river might overflow. The river is overflowing. The bathtub is overflowing because someone forgot to turn off the faucet. When I went to the bathroom, the bathtub was overflowing because someone forgot to turn off the faucet. When I went to the bathroom, the bathtub was overflowing. The river was overflowing. I watched the river overflowing the bank on TV. I watched the river overflowing the bank on TV. I watched the river overflowing on TV. I watched the river overflowing on TV. I watched the river overflowing on TV. I watched the river overflowing. I watched the river overflowing. The river is overflowing because of the heavy rain. Soon after the heavy rain, the river started to overflow. The river started to overflow. Overflow. The river is overflowing. The river is overflowing. The river is overflowing. The river is overflowing the bank. The river is overflowing the bank. The river is overflowing the bank. The water is overflowing the bank. The river is overflowing the bank. I hope the heavy rain will not overflow the river. I hope the heavy rain will not overflow the river. I hope the heavy rain will not overflow the river or other water places like lake, sea, and so on. I hope the heavy rain will not overflow the river. I hope the heavy rain will not overflow the river. I hope the heavy rain will not overflow the river. I hope the heavy rain will not overflow the river. I hope the heavy rain will not overflow the river. The river is overflowing. The river is overflowing the bank. The speeding car rushed through the expressway. I was surprised at that. The speeding car rushed through the tunnel. 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 I saw the bullet train Shinkansen rushed through the station because the Shinkansen does not stop at the station. So the Shinkansen usually rushed through the station. I saw Shinkansen rushing through the station. I saw Shinkansen rushing through the tunnel, rushing through the station. I saw Shinkansen rushing through the station. I saw Shinkansen rushing through the station because the Shinkansen does not stop at the station. But some tourists go to the station to see the Shinkansen rushing through the station. I saw Shinkansen rushing through that station. I saw a Shinkansen or a bullet train rushing through the station. I saw a Shinkansen rushing through the tunnel. I saw a Shinkansen rushing through the station. I saw a Shinkansen or a bullet train rushing through that station. I saw a Shinkansen rushing through the station. I saw a Shinkansen rushing through the station. I saw a Shinkansen rushing through. I saw a Shinkansen rushing through. I saw a Shinkansen or a bullet train rushing through. I saw a Shinkansen 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 rushing through the station. I saw a Shinkansen rushing through. I saw a Shinkansen rushing through the station. Many kids have to go home until 5 o'clock p.m. Many kids are told to come back home by 5 o'clock. I had been studying for more than 10 hours until I was stopped by my parents. I had been studying almost 10 hours until I was stopped by my parents. I was kept practicing the piano until my mother said okay, which made me cry. I was kept waiting for at least 20 minutes until he finally showed up, until he finally turned up. My grandmother usually do something outside until the sun goes down. My grandmother usually does something, especially removing the weeds outside, until the sun goes down. My grandmother does something outside just before until the sun goes down. Please submit the document to the headquarters of the company no later than Friday. Please submit it to the department, personnel department, no later than end of this month. I have to finish the assignment by tonight. I have to submit the application by July 11th. I'm going to stay in Hawaii for 5 days. I stayed in Hawaii for 5 days. I stayed in Hawaii for 5 days for sightseeing. Next time I go to Hawaii, I'd like to stay for a longer time. I've engaged in the industry for 3 years. I will have engaged in that industry for more than 10 years next month. I will stay here for a time being until the heavy rain subsides. I will stay here for a time being until the heavy rain subsides. Relieve. Some students keep sleeping during the class. Some students keep sleeping during the class. And some professors get angry at them, and while other professors don't care. I'm going to visit some tourist spots during this summer. I'd like to visit the beach during the summer. I'd like to go to some beautiful beaches during this summer. Okay, I will finish speaking here. Thank you for watching. See you next time. See you.